Assalamualaikum and very good evening to Professor Dr. Aweng. I will gladly presenting water pollution in Malaysia. My name is Faris Akmal bin Hasbullah. ID matrix is E23B25649. We'll be presenting about water pollution in Malaysia. Okay, so number one, in introduction, water pollution is the release of substances into bodies of water that makes water unsafe for human use and disrupt aquatic ecosystems. Water pollution can be caused by a plethora of different contaminants, including toxic waste, petroleum, and disease-causing microorganisms. In what I can digest through in our introduction is one of main reasons of water pollution is how badly adequate that the humans have been made up in our, especially in our nation, Malaysia, has caused a lot of catastrophe, including our river system, our ocean full of plastics and full of toxic waste and more and of etc. of the industrial toxic waste that have been released into our river system. So moving on to the types and causes of water pollution, I have already included for the most main one in our currently system in Malaysia. And number one is that urbanization and deforestation. The first type is the cause is the urbanization and deforestation have a lot of indirect effects. In when it comes to indirect effects, it represents about the effects is not directly on hitting point on the cause of the water pollution, but the side effects that will occur in more in the meantime in future in the next maybe couple of months in even a year that will cause the water pollution from the activity of urbanization and deforestation. And type number two is agriculture. And the cause of the agriculture is the use of chemicals and live excrement. And an example of the use of chemicals in our Malaysian today has a lot of pesticides. We have lots of mm, and illegal chemicals that have been used on our agriculture, especially sawit, especially mostly pineapples, rice paddies could be most of our agriculture system is still not able to make the traditional way, such as using organic or organisms that can be used as replenishment other than using chemicals. So in our Malaysia system today, is still we are still currently using a lot of chemicals. And last one for the industries types is industry. The cause is a lot of waste containing toxic chemicals and pollutants. Industries have been the main topics in Malaysia. It has been one of the most common excuses. If we heard about Kong Kong River, that has been happened at Johor, where a lot of students we fainted because of due to toxic waste, the chemical pollutants that has been happened during those years. So yeah, it's still happening at Selangor and even Kelantan as well, even including the whole Malaysia. We are still currently still dealing with a lot of industries water pollution. And moving on, method of getting information is number one, administrative. In administrative, we can conclude that most mm, most of government systems today, we must able to diminish with the most partial way on how to organize the public, but how serious of the water pollution has been ongoing in our country. Thus, the administrative must be vigilant and must be aware of the systematic of the water pollution has been ongoing in Malaysia. Number two is influence. Influence has been one way on how we can convince the people, to convince the government on how to influence them to partially partake on how avoiding water polluting that has been ongoing in our Malaysia. And number three is legislative, where we have been discussed about the Act 1974, where it must be done and it must be condoned um, on our academics and the enforcement. The law must be enforced and must be governed at all costs. No matter how it should be, the legislative must be aware of this situation. Moving on, it's about problem statement. The treatment of water pollution goes beyond human life and wildlife. It is economical. The cycle will continue due to ourselves. Thus, in the end, the problem is us. It's all about us, where most of our intentions and our behave and our human activities, in the end, as we are currently using the AC, we are still polluting the systems, the air quality, the water pollution is where we usually still using chemicals, etc. We are still currently developing. So the problem is still there, but we are still slow on developing the new way of on the economical on how to avoid this problem situation that we are currently dealing with. And moving on is laws and regulation in Malaysia. Number one, as always, the most important one is Environment Quality Act (EQA) 1974. The number two is Water Services Industry ACT 2006 WSIA. Number three is the Water Ordinance 1994 WO. And thus, the most regular and common one, it will be none the other is the Environmental Quality Act, where most legislative and administrative has been using on and on how to avoid these ongoing industrial agriculture and more of due to the most common problem that we are facing right now. The water services industry is where most um, services where it include most industry that has been ongoing, such as bengkel or workshop of the from vehicles, ships, airplanes, etc., so on and so forth. And the three, the water ordinance is mostly about the complication of where they determine the water quality if happening in anywhere in industry that is currently happening. Thus, they will make a checkout for the water check quality that's been ongoing too. And moving on, result slash discussion. Number one is laboratory analysis. From what we have heard, pH testing procedure. Rinse each test tube with the water sample. Gloves should be worn to avoid skin contact with the water. So in other accordance, the water testing procedure will be rinse first in each tube, then the water samples will be tested in laboratory and make sure the water quality on impacting any the most critical critical locations such as the industrial and the agriculture places will be tested. And yeah, it should be worn gloves to avoid skin contact with the water because of due to the increase um, of the acidity of the water itself. Number two is field measurement. The ambient physical and chemical properties of the surface water or groundwater system at the time of sampling. The field measurement is an example of how most of researcher will make field measurement throughout the water and land, including to make sure on how the toxicity and the acidity of the water pollution has been ongoing. They will be testing it, and they might as well calculate on how many it will last long and how long it will pollute the water and the land itself. So moving on is the Geography Information System (GIS). It is a database management system which regulates the water quality and also monitors the environment management. Where most geography information system is one of the most common one, GIS, where most the researcher will make a sample and research about the water pollution. It will not just be a water pollution, but as well as the land and the air also they will be making. And last and not least is conclusion. The laws and regulations that have been implemented to the public must be enforced as possible. People nowadays forgotten our part to take care of our environment. One of the main reason is uh, people in Malaysia must aware of our situation, must aware their where they should put their responsible. That's where it belongs to how we must take care of our nature, our water. Our water is an essence of our lives, thus it is really important. They must, despite the government has implemented a lots of money on investing on money about social awareness on how the water pollutants is really dangerous. It is really affecting our lives, affecting our cost. Thus, me and as well as other people must take responsibility on how we take our problems in our lives. Thus, laws and regulations is one, but also an influence towards ourselves is one of main reason on how we can change this problem that we are facing. So that's it for today, sir, and thank you for watching and for listening to my presentation. Thank you, sir.